Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Govt Drish, where we provide you with study materials in the most efficient way and also in a detailed way. We have started our Lucent series of general knowledge, where we have completed at least 4 parts, and today is our part 5. And our last part was about Mahajanapadas. We have covered up the Vedic age, the later Vedic age, the earlier Vedic age. All such topics have been covered. You can check that out in our series, that is Lucent series of ancient history. So with that, today here I am starting on with the part 5 of the ancient history, where we will study about the religious movements that have been taken place around 600 BC to 400 BC. So let's get started. There was various religious movements which took place in this time period, and especially that were Buddhism, Jainism, which not only grew up in the post-Vedic area, but it also came to known as the period of second urbanization or the age of Buddha, and it was specifically during the 6th century to 4th century BC. Now, we will start with the causes of religious movements. First cause is the Vedic philosophy has lost its original purity. Due to the submergence of the Vedic culture, it led to more of the religious movements, and which specifically included the Jainism and Buddhism religions. And it was also in the saying that Vedic religion had become very complex, very much out of the way of the normal public. People were finding it very difficult to connect with the Vedic culture, and thus it degenerated the normal public into superstition, dogmas, as well as various rituals. Due to the supremacy of the Brahmins, it created unrest in the society, and this led to an insurgency among the Kshatriyas, which acted against this Brahminical domination, and which led to many such movements, which led not only to a creation of a new religion and also the submergency of the Vedic culture. It also led to the introduction of a new agriculture economy in Eastern India. These all points are very important. And then we have also looked after the desire of Vaishyas as well, who wanted to improve their social position, as they were in the third number in the hierarchical order. They want to increase in the terms of economy, as well as wanted growth in the field of trade. Now, the first religious movement which took place was the religion of Buddhism. Let's get started with the founder of Buddhism that involved the Buddha's life, who was the founder of Buddhism, and he was born in 563 BC, which was widely accepted this time period, and he was born on the day of Vaisakha Purnima day at Nirvana in Kapilvastu, which is now situated in the foothill of Nepal in the Sakya Kshatriya clan. So these all are very important, and these are some highlighted points. His father's name was Sudhodana, and he was the Republican king of Kapilvastu, and mother Mahamaya, who was a princess of the Kosala dynasty. His mother as well as father's name is quite important. Now let's know about what happened after his mother's early death. He was brought up by stepmother and aunt, whose name was Mahaprajapati Gautami, and his father married her at a very early age. Like, Gautam Buddha was married to Yasodhara, that is princess of Koli dynasty, at a very early age, and he also had a son that is called Rahul. But there were 4 things which changed the mindset of Gautam Buddha, his perspective of life, that is, an old man, a diseased person, a dead body, and an ascetic proven to be a turning point in his career. His all the sights, when he viewed all these four of them, it turned out to be a turning point in his life, as it changed its view, perspective of thinking, and all such. And after that, he renounced his home, he renounced all his worldly affair, his social life, and at the age of 29, he became a monk, and this was his Mahabhinishkarmana, that is, to become a wandering ascetic. Now, who was his first teacher? Please remember this point, that what was this called and at what age did he renounce home. And his first teacher's name was Lara Kalama, who was a Sangha philosopher, and from whom he learned the technique of meditation. Then his next teacher's name is also written, that is Udraka Ramputra. Then what happened at the age of 35? He was under a peepal tree, that is at Uruvela, Bodh Gaya. We all know about Bodh Gaya, which is one of the most important place in life of Buddha. Then what is the bank of river name? That is Niranjana, which is modern name Falgu. So what he attained there? He attained enlightenment through his meditation. How many days of meditation? After 49 days of continuous meditation, no stoppage in between, he was fully entitled, that is Buddha or a Tathagat. And then he delivered his first sermon. Where did Buddha deliver his first sermon is also very important. Please mark this, at Sarnath Deer Park, to his 5 disciples. This is known as Dharmachakra Pravartana, which is also known as the turning of the wheel of law. Buddha died at the age of 80. And in which BC, which time period, where is the location? These are questions you can expect. So the time period is 483 BC in Kushinagar, that is village Kasya, in Siddharthanagar Janapada of Devriya district of UP. This is known as Mahaparinirvana, its final blowing out. Now here are some of the great events of Buddha's life, and these are the symbols, that is Janma, lotus and bull. Then we have Mahabhinishkramana, that is renunciation, whose symbol is horse. Then we have Nirvana Sambodhi, enlightenment, that we have Bodhi tree. Dharmachakra Parvatana, that is first sermon. We have wheel, and Mahaparinirvana, that is death, that is we have stupa. Please go through all the points which are given in brackets. Then we have Kanthaka, that is Buddha's horse. Then we have Chana, that is Buddha's charioteer. We have Devadatta, that is Buddha's cousin. Sujata, the farmer's daughters who gave him rice milk. And Bodh Gaya, other names of Buddha, Gautama, Siddhartha, Shakya, Muni. These are other names of Buddha. Now, what is the doctrine of Buddhism? First, we have Chatvari Arya Satyani. We all know, or we are familiar with this term, that is 4 noble truths, which is life is full of sorrow, that is dukkha, sabam dukkham. Then there are causes of sorrow, that is dukkha samudaya. Then the sorrow can be stopped, that is dukkha nirodha. And the path that leads to the cessation of sorrow is called dukkha nirodha. So you need to look after all these 4 noble truths, as it's very important. Then we will look into a note that is given. Pratya Samutapada is also known as Hetuvada, that is theory of cause and effect. We have seen the cause and effect relationship or the cause and effect theory number of times in many of the thinkers' thesis, and it is applied on this basis as well. Then we also have theory of momentariness, impermanence. Then desire is root cause of sorrow. Buddha has always that concept that we have sorrowness in our life, or we are sad about something only because we have that thirst of desireness. We always hope for more betterment, which is the reason for our sorrow. Then we have the ultimate aim of his life was to attain Nirvana, that is enlightenment. And then we have the eternal state of peace and bliss, which means liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Okay, so This enlightenment is the state of peace where a certain time where we can say a person attains peace and is also renouncing his worldly affairs, and then also liberation from his cycle of birth. Then we have Ashtangika Marga, that is eightfold path, where he talks about the right observation, right determination, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right exercise, right memory, and right meditation. Then he also talks about the Madhya Marga, that is Madhyama Pratipada, the middle path. Okay, so we have four noble truths, we have eightfold paths, and then we have the middle path, which states that man should avoid both extremes, that is life of comforts and luxury and a life of severe asceticism. Means people should follow the middle path. They should not only just go on sacrificing and be a assist, but also should enjoy his life, not to an extreme, that is not only getting yourself gulfed between luxury. No, there should be a balance. Now let's talk about the three jewels of Buddhism. Okay. That is Buddha the enlightened, Dharma doctrine, Sangha commune. Buddha, first Buddha, that is 483 BC council, venue, here it is Rajgriha, chairman, patron Ajashatru, Haryanka dynasty, and this is the result compilation of Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka. Then we have second Buddhist council, that's Chulanga Sabhavaki Vaishali, that was by Kalashoka, that is Shishunaga dynasty. Result is the monks of Vaishali wanted some change in rites, Shaivism and Sativedmadans. Okay, then third Buddhist council, Ashok Karma, that is Vihar, Patliputra, whose chairman was Tisar. It was during the Maurya dynasty, and what was its result? There was compilation of Abhidhamma Pitaka, the decision to send missionaries to various parts. Then we have Buddhist Council, which was fourth one, and it was during the 98 AD. Kundalavana, Kashmir. Chairman was Vasumitra, Vice Chairman Ashwaghosa. Then we have Kanishka. It was during the Kanishka, that's Kushana dynasty. Then what was the result? There was compilation of Mahavira Shastra, Tripitakas, division of Buddhist, and they are okay. So this one is very important because during the fourth Buddhist 98 AD council, there was a division of Buddhist into two sects, that is Hinayanist and Mahayanist. You need to remember this. Let me mark this as very important. Now let's talk about the Buddhist literature. We have Pali texts of Buddhism, that is Tripitakas, Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka. These all are the divided version of Tripitakas, okay, which means basket, and it was basically described in this way because the original texts which were existed in the earlier times were written on palm leaves and kept in baskets. So Sutta Pitaka was Buddha's sayings, मतलब जो बुद्धा बोलते थे वो. Then Vinaya Pitaka was monastic code. Then Abhidhamma Pitaka, this was religious discourses of Buddha, which means that what Buddha used to speak on the basis of religions. Then we have Abhidhamma Pitaka, which comprises of Dikhaya Nikaya, Manjam Nikaya, Samyukta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, and Kudak or Shrujadra Nikaya. Then we have Milinda Vanho. That is the questions of Milinda. And what is it? It is a dialogue between Milinda, that is quite identical with the Indo-Greek ruler who was Menander, and Buddhist saint, that is Nagasena. Then we have the Vavamsha and Mahavamsha, who were the great chronicles of Sri Lanka. Then we have Sanskrit texts, which were Buddha Charita, Saudaranda, then Sutralankar, Sariputra Prarakan, Vajrar Suchi, then Ashwagosha, then we have Mahavira Shastra, then we have Vasumitra. These are some of the Sanskrit texts, but this is important. This part is more important. That is the Pali text and about the Pitakas. Now we have sects of Buddhism. Now, I told you when it was divided in the fourth Buddhist council, that is during the 98 AD. The first is Hinaya, that is the lesser vehicle. So it's Now let's know about the sect, that what does it mean, what they used to follow, or what mindset or ideology they used to have, and which was different. So first we have that its followers believed in the original teaching of Buddha. Then they used to sought individual salvation. They did not depend on overall teachings. This the teachings of Buddha, individual salvation, that was through meditation. They also did not believe in idol worship. These are all differentiation things. They favored Pali language, and it is also known as that Southern Buddhist religion because it prevailed in the south of India. What were the places? It was Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Swam, Java, and there were two subjects of Hinayana, that is Vaibhasika and Sautarika. Then we have Mahayana, that is the greater vehicle. So its followers believed in the heavenliness of Buddha. They sought the salvation of all through the grace and help of Buddha. They believed in idol worship. This is one differentiation which you should remember. They favored Sanskrit. They favored Pali, Hinayanas. They believed in idol. Now, okay, not this. Okay, so Hinayanas used to exist in the southern region, and Mahayana used to exist in the northern Buddhist religion. This is the major difference. Okay, so there were two subjects, Mahayana, Madhyamika, Shurvayavada. Then we have Yogachar, Vijnanavada. And let's know the Vajrayana. This is one more sect. Its followers are believed that salvation could be best attained by acquiring the magical power, which they called Vajra, and the chief divinities of this new sect were called the Taras. It became popular in eastern India, particularly in Bengal and Bihar. Then we have Bodhisattvas like Vajrapani, who were Indra. He holds a thunderbolt. Then we have Avlotikeshwara. This is the Lord who looks down. They were also called Padmabini. Then we have Majroshri. He holds a book. Then we have Maitreya, the future Buddha. Then we have Shriti Griha, who were the guardians. Then we have Amitabha, who were Buddha of heaven. Now let's know about sacred shrines, that is Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, Kushinagar, where the four principal events of the Buddha's life, such as the birth, enlightenment, first sermon, death, took place. And there were also some places such as Sravasti, Rajgriha, Vaishali, Sanskaya. These are with 8 places along with that. Then we also have some other centers of Buddhism. See, this one is important. These sacred shrines are important. Other centers of Buddhism in ancient India, there's Amravati, Nagarjunikonda in Andhra Pradesh. We have Nalanda in Bihar. Then we have Junagadh, Vallabhi in Gujarat, Bharat in MP. These are all the centers of Buddhism in ancient India. Now let's know about the stupas, that is the relics of Buddha or some prominent Buddhist monks have preserved. Then we have Chaitya, that is the prayer hall. These are the meanings. What is the meaning of stupa? You'll find here. What is the meaning of Chaitya? You'll find here. What is the meaning of Vihara? That is residence. Now some Buddhist universities, one of the most ancient university and famous university, we all know Nalanda University, was under Buddhism. Yes, this is very important. I am marking it. Please make a note of this. Nalanda, that is Badagaon, Kumar Gupta. Know about the universities, their places, and their founders. Founders are very important. Udanputri, there we have Bihar Sharifs, Bihar Gopala, the such Jagadal Vallabhi. Okay, these are the royal patrons that we have learned about. These patrons during the Vedic age, Haryanka dynasty, Magadha, Ashoka. This we have learned already. So let's just give a look on that. Okay, this note is important as Ashoka, the greatest patron of Buddhism, called Third Buddhist Council and sent mission comprises of his son Mahendra and this is Sanghamitra and Mahendra, his son and daughter, went to Sri Lanka to preach Buddhism. Then we have Kanishka, that is called Fourth Buddhist Council and sent mission to China, Korea, and Japan. And Palas of Bengal and Bihar were last great patrons of Buddhism. These 3 points are very important. Now let's know about the Jainism. This was one more religion which was prevalent during this age, and according to the Jain tradition there were 24 Tirthankaras, and the first being the Rishabdeva, Adinata, and the last being Mahavira. And the Vishwa Purana and Bhagavad Purana describe Rishabha as an incarnation of Narayana, means the another form of Narayan. Then there are two Jain Tirthankaras, that is Rishabha, which are found in the Rig Veda. Then we have historical proof of only the last two, that is the Parshvanath and Mahavira. The 20 among the 24, we know about the first one, the 23rd and 24th one. Okay, who was this Parshvanath? He was a prince of Benares who abandoned the throne and led the life and died at Samit Shikhar Hill. His four main teachings are Ahimsa, non-injury, Satya, non-lying, Asatya, non-stealing, Aparigraha, non-possession. These four teachings are also very important. Please, important. Okay, make a note of that. And he also adopted all these four teachings and added one more to it, that is chastity, which means brahmacharya. See, this is the 24 Tirthankara's table. Give a look at that as well. Now let's know about Mahavira's life, where he was born. He was born in 540 BC, that is village Kungrama, which was near Vaishali in Bihar. And his father was Siddhartha, who was the head of a Kshatriya clan. His mother was Trishna, who was the sister of Chitaka, the king of Vaishali. Okay. Now he was also related to the Bimbisara, that was the ruler of Magadha, and who had married Chelana, that is the daughter of Chitaka. Now he was also married to Yashoda, that is daughter of Samavira king, and they produced a daughter whose name was Priyadarshini, and whose husband Jamali became the first disciple of Mahavira. Then at the age of 30, that is after the death of his father, he renounced his family, he became an ascetic, and he proceeded in search of truth. That is, he renounced his worldly affairs. And then by whom he was accompanied? He was accompanied by Bakali Gosala, but due to some differences, Gosala left him and founded another sect, that is Ajivika sect. Then at the age of 42, under a salary, just remember, quite things are same like Buddhism, so don't get confused. At the age of 42, a salary, he was sitting under it on the bank river of Rijupalika. Remember Buddha's bank river as well. And what we attained there, that is Kaivalya, that is supreme knowledge. And from that onwards, he was called Kevalin, Jinnah, that is one who conquered his senses, Nigrantha. These words are important. Arhan, blessed one, Mahavira, the brave. Okay, where did he develop his first sermon? To, that is Pava, that is to his 11 disciples known as Gandharvas. Then at the age of 72, he passed away at Pavapuri near Bihar Sharif in Bihar. So Dharma, only one of 11 Gandharvas survived after the death of Mahavira. These are the doctrines of Jainism. Now, three gems of Jainism, that is Samyak Shraddha, Vishwas, right faith, is a belief in Tirthankaras. Then we have Samyak Jain, right knowledge, is the knowledge of the Jain creed. Then Samyak Karma, that is Archana. Now let's know about the Pancha Mahavratas, that is the 5 vows of Jainism. So first vow of Jainism was Ahimsa, non-injury. Satya, these are all Rishabdeva's teachings, by the way. Asatya, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya. Then types of knowledge, that is Matijana, perception through activity of sense organs. Then we have Shruttajana, knowledge revealed by scriptures. Then we have Madhijana, that is perception, telepathic knowledge, important. Syadeva, that is the theory of me or maybe perhaps, which means that all our judgments are necessarily relative, or we can say it's conditional, like there are quite many forms of prediction which we do, and it's quite conditional. We don't do a judgment which is final one, it's quite conditional. Okay, these are the principles of Jainism which is preached by Mahavira. That is, they rejected Vedas, Vedic rituals. They did not believe in the existence of God. They believed in karma, transmigration of soul. They laid great emphasis on equality. Okay, so this was the Jain Council, so it seemed like the Buddha Council. That was 300 BC, Patliputra. Sulabhadra, that's Chandragupta Maurya, compilation of 12 Angas. These were the result. Then we have second, 512 AD, Vallabhi, chairman Devrati, or we can say Masramana. There is no patron named. And the final compilation of 12 Angas and 12 Upasas. Then you have Jain literature, which is written by Prakrit language and known as Ardhamagadi Prakrit, and which was classified as Angas, 12 Upangas, Parikramas, Chedadustras, Malasutras, Sutra Granthas. Then we also have 14 Purvas or Parvas, which is the part of 12 Angas, and it is the oldest text of Mahavira's preachings. Remember this. Beside this, there are some important Jain texts as well. Kapala Sutra, which is written in Sanskrit. Okay, these questions can come, that which Jain text is written in Sanskrit. Okay. Now, sects of Jainism. There was a famine in Magadha, that is in South Bihar, and it led to the emergence of many orthodox Jain monks in the Deccan and southern India, along with Bhadrababu and Chandragupta Maurya. So they returned back after 12 years, and the leader of the Govt, which stayed back at Magadha, was Tulabhadra. So when the Jains from South India they returned, they held that complete nudity to be an essential part of the Mahavira, while the monks in Magadha began to put on white clothes. So this led to two sects, that is Shwetambaras and Digambaras. Shwetambaras were the one who used to put on white robes, and the Digambaras were the one those were stark naked. Now this is the Jain architectures, Gufas, Dilwara temples, Grana, Patialana, and these are royal patrons. In the North India, we have Nandas, Bimbisara, Ajashatru, Haryanka dynasty, modern dynasty, Magadha, Avanti. South Indian, we have Ganga dynasty, Kadam, that is Rashtrota dynasty, Siddharth Jai Singh, Kumar Putra, and Chalukya Solanki was the last great patron of Jainism. This is important name. Important. Okay, this is also important. Okay, so this was the pages regarding the religious movements which took place between 600 BC to 492 BC. Go through all the pages in a detailed way. As Lucent series, you will find all the facts in a detailed way, and you will find nothing which is irrelevant here. So go look on it, prepare your notes, and get ready for your competitive exams. Be it anything UPSC, BPSC, it will help you out in all the competitive exams. So go through it, give your focus, and stay tuned for our next part series. We'll come back again. Till then, keep liking and sharing our videos as well. See you.